This is the last one. And I'm really sorry. These are very emotional podcasts. And the emotions that I'm possibly triggering inside some of you guys who are watching these must be very hard to hear. Cancer, cardiac, whatever, must touches everyone's lives. News like this must touch a lot of people's lives, and I'm sorry if what you're hearing is causing a lot of tears and is bringing back any memories or any problems that you've had in the past. Let me tell you that as much as I can, I understand that sometimes you have to hear things in your lecture theatres or on your podcasts or things like this that are going to cause you some pain. But if you don't feel anything at all when you hear these podcasts, if there's no emotion at all inside you, I'm not saying that you have to blub every time that you see these podcasts at all, but think of what you're feeling when you watch these podcasts. I don't mean to blow my own trumpet or say that these are wonderful things, but the feelings that I'm bringing up inside you, what are you thinking? You as an individual. Because you are, as an individual, have your own skills, your own values, your own strengths. And those are the things you work to. If you're sitting in the lecture theatre right now and you're crying, you're obviously feeling something very deep inside. If you're not crying, but there's something inside you that is holding you back, just think of how you're feeling when you're hearing somebody talk about the kind of things I've just shared over the past 2 podcasts. There's been a lot of joy and a lot of healing and a lot of good stuff that's happened through this dying business. There's a lot of life in dying than in life itself sometimes. I could be doing a 9-to-5 job backwards and forwards from work every day. Instead, I'm now an ambassador for the Patient Association. I'm meeting up with 2 lecturers from Bournemouth University to look at these podcasts going across the country to other universities. Cousins of mine are talking to each other and talking to me. I can't remember if I'm repeating myself here, but there was an aunt. I spoke to my aunt the other day. Things that wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the cancer. People look at me and say I'm strong or an inspiration. I'm just me. You know? This thing here is just a pottery jar. It's nothing special. It's cracked. It's actually broken. It broke yesterday and a friend of mine glued it back together. But it represents who I feel I am. Nothing special. But it's what's inside that comes out of me. And being a Christian, having a faith, it's my faith that holds me strong, and the prayers of hundreds upon thousands of people across the world, because I'm also an advocate for a charity called Compassion, and ringing them up today, one of the ladies from Compassion, and telling her the news. She sent out an email that'll go around 26 country offices around the world, and at various times throughout the day and the night, depending on what country, they're going to be praying for me. And I'm going to be lifted up into the arms of my God. The God who right now, yes, I'm rather miffed with at the moment. Oh, by the way, when I do that, that's actually when they took, I did the CT scan the other day and they put like that contrast in. They had to try and find a vein. That's the bruise that came up. It sent a few alarm bells inside me thinking, is my liver actually working here? But apparently my liver's working fine. It's the rest of me that's breaking up. Relationships within families are very different. You've heard my eldest son do a podcast. He's very businesslike, very cold. Very straightforward. I'm very grateful that he has a boyfriend, a partner, if you will, who can hold him and be with him during this time when he's feeling as he described in the podcast. He and I need to get together and talk. We've had a few words recently, and I think we're both dealing with this in different ways, and we clash sometimes. So family dynamics are very difficult things to gather, and as a nursing professional nurse, you sometimes come across situations when patients are having difficulty with relatives, close relatives, and you need to know, again, looking with the eyes of your heart, not necessarily with your head. You use that intuition to know when to speak, when to bring it up, when to talk, when not to talk. Like Steph on C4, that wonderful nurse who knew when to hold my hand. And she told me to give my son and my husband permission to be who they are and to cope their own way, and to give myself permission to cope the way only I can. She was very courageous saying that, compassionate and caring. All the 6 C's of care in one. I'll make a suggestion. There's a lot of talk in nursing practice and student nursing and about reflective practice. And I can hear you all groan when I say that. But it's true. Take a patient or a situation, or maybe even take these podcasts, and on a very personal level, don't necessarily share it with anybody. Write down how you're feeling when you listen to these podcasts. Write down how it's making you feel. Because these podcasts are like my drug of choice. I want to do this podcast today, of all days, because I know you need to see me as raw as possible. not wait a few days for me to calm down. You need to see the tears. You need to see, and you need to hear from my heart. Write down how you felt listening to the past 3 podcasts. And take care of yourselves. Know your strengths. Get to know these eyes as much as these. And I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Thank you for listening. You've no idea how much talking to you means to me. You are my therapy.